Hi everyone and welcome to the inaugural Simply Open Awards 2022. Today is International Day of Persons with a Disability and there is no better day for us to announce the winners of the Simply Open Awards on a day which recognises and champions everything disability around the world. The format of the event is a live stream, we have BSL interpretation and we also have captioning along the bottom. And it's an hour-long stream where we will in a moment hear from Christine, our Managing Director here at Open Inclusion, talk about why we started the awards. We'll also hear from some of our partners and sponsors and some of the judges that have been involved with the judging. We will then proceed to announce the winners. We have two announcements to make in terms of winners. We have our winners of the NGO prize, so non-government organisations, where there's £3,500 up for grabs going to two NGOs, so that's £2,500 for first place and £1,000 for second place. And then we're also giving away up to £7,700 of prizes to our individual winners of the hacks in which they've shared for the awards this year. In terms of reach, we managed around 70 applications this year, of which 45 qualified for judging. We had 15 judges from around the world, mainly in the 6 countries of which we've got applicants submitting from. And we then shortlisted those judges shortlisted down to 15 applications. They then went to our global sponsors, and it's our global sponsors who will shortly announce the winners of those awards. Now there's £7,700 up for grabs there, with first place getting £2,000, second place getting £1,000, then £500 for third, £250 and £100 for fifth place. Now the judging process this year was done on 3 key criteria. That was innovation, storytelling and impact. And that was really important to us to ensure that these awards really focus in on the frugal, low cost, high impact innovations that people across the disability community are creating, and really recognise and champion what people can do and share that across the disability community. So over to Christine to talk a little bit about why we started the awards.
Open Awards align perfectly to our goals and style here at Open Inclusion. We connect knowledge from lived experiences of disability and long-term access needs to progress solutions and outcomes across any environment. These awards celebrate the ingenuity across the community. They showcase simple, effective life hacks, homemade products and practices that have been created for one person or situation. Through the awards, we've had the opportunity to celebrate this creativity and share the awards with others who can also benefit. A big thank you to our 3 global sponsors: AMV BBDO for communication, Eli Lilly for daily living and well-being, and Fiverr for employment. Thanks also to InMoment as a local partner. To our 15 judges drawn from across the 6 countries, thank you for helping us with this very challenging task, selecting winners from such high-quality applications. Also, to the many NGOs we engaged with, thanks for sharing and amplifying the awards into your communities. Lastly, but most importantly, thank you to all the applications for taking the time to share your solutions with us and the broader community. You are all innovators who we wish to celebrate here today, making the world more inclusive through your creative solutions. Here's a quick video from one of our judges talking about the first round of judging. Amber, over to you from the Australian Network on Disability.
Hello everyone, my name is Amber Tratter. I'm the Strategic Development Manager at the Australian Network on Disability, and I'm coming to you today from Melbourne, Australia. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which I meet today and pay my respects to the elders past and present. I'm coming in and calling today from the lands of the Wurundjeri people on the Kulin Nation, and I would like to extend that respect to anyone on the call here today who identifies as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. And I would also like to pay my respects to people with disability on the call here today, and thank you so much for joining us. So I work for the Australian Network on Disability. We're a membership-based not-for-profit organisation that supports employers to welcome people with disability in all aspects of business. I've had the pleasure of representing the Australian Network on Disability in judging the Simply Open Awards, and it has been an absolute pleasure. I was looking for those innovative hacks that could really empower others and make the lives of others easier. And it was really important when I was judging these awards that I was looking for solutions that were quite simple, that others would be able to replicate, and also that the materials could be sourced quite easily, again, so others would be able to replicate them and bring those into their lives. I was very impressed with the ingenuity of people and the different ideas that people had come up with that seemed like really obvious solutions once you thought about it, but of course takes such great creative talent to think about it in the first instance and enact it. Watching the videos was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for spending the time and putting them together. I do want to thank the team and the Simply Open community for running these awards. It's really important that we are talking about this and sharing all of these ideas across the world so that we're not continuously reinventing the wheel and working in little silos, but we're all coming together. I'm really delighted that these awards will contribute to a fairer and more accessible and inclusive world, and I wish everyone the best of luck as the awards are announced today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Amber. Now we're at the exciting part where we get to announce the winners. First up, we're going to be announcing the NGO prizes. The NGO prizes are awarded for the NGOs that have made the most referrals, in other words, applicants from their communities to apply into the award. So as part of the submission process, we were tracking those. So I'm now going to hand over to Christine, who's going to announce our top two.
In second place, being awarded £1,000 and a big thank you goes to the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. Congratulations. The Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation are dedicated to supporting those with spinal cord injury by advancing innovative research and improving the quality of life for individuals and families impacted by paralysis. In first place, being awarded £2,500 and a really big thank you from us goes to Vision Australia. Vision Australia is a leading national provider of inclusive services, working with over 25,000 Australians who are blind or have low vision, helping them live the life that they choose.
Congratulations again from me to the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation and Vision Australia. Thank you. Now for the really exciting bit, to watch and see and announce the winners of the Simply Open Awards 2022. To start with, we're going to be handing over to A and B, who are going to announce for their top 5, and after that we will then pass over to Eli Lilly, where Darren will introduce and announce his 5 winners. Throughout, you will be able to watch the applications as well. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm a senior strategist at A&B. I'm a white male with a bald head, and I'm wearing a grey Fed Perry t-shirt.
Hi, my name is B. Farmelo. I'm a senior strategist at AMV. I am a white female with long brown hair, a patterned shirt, and a grey polo neck.
So in 5th place, winning £100, our congratulations goes to Laura for a wonderful hack improving accessibility of online meetings for deaf and hard of hearing people.
Microsoft Teams. And what I would like to show you is that, imagine this is an actual meeting. But here what I'm doing is, rather than going into Teams, I'm actually on Google Chrome. So I'm on a web browser, and you might have noticed I've got 2 sets of captions. What has happened here is I've turned on Microsoft Teams captions here, which is on the left. But I also have Google Chrome's own captions on the right. You can see the difference between the two. Sometimes Microsoft gets it right, sometimes Google gets it right, but what I find the advantage of doing this is, rather than looking at 2 sets of captions at the same time, which would be very complicated and confusing, what I tend to do is just look at one set of captions, but in case sometimes because automatic captioning has errors, it can be helpful to look at the other set of captioners. And sometimes the mistake is rectified by looking at the second set. I also find that there is an advantage with Google Chrome because you can move these captions all the way around the screen any way you like. So you can have it at the top. You can also expand it like this, which allows you to look at a lot at once. I find that really helpful because sometimes 2 lines of captioning is too short and it disappears very quickly. It's not perfect. No solution with automatic captioning is going to be perfect. But if you're in a pinch, I think it works fairly well. Oh, interesting. You can see the difference between the 2 captions here. That is pretty much what I wanted to show you today. Thank you for watching. Bye.
In fourth place, winning £250, our congratulations goes to Owen for his individual demonstration of how to get around in a power wheelchair.
Hi, my name is Owen, and today I will be demonstrating how to mount and dismount curbs as a powered wheelchair user. Unfortunately, we do not live in a fully accessible world, so I've had to come up with my own life hacks in order to work around the issues I have found while I'm out and about. As you can see in this video, some curbs aren't meant for wheelchairs to freely go up and down. This can lead to many problems, from having to search elsewhere for another curb that has a dip. It can be dangerous on both you and the wheelchair. Most of all, it can lead to frustration. Okay, first I will show you how to mount and dismount a curb successfully. Then I will show you step by step how I do it. This is the easy curb that are found at most sets of traffic lights or crosswalks. However, this is not always the option we have when we are crossing the road. I will now show you how I get up and down a more difficult curb.
Okay, Owen, we are in a tricky situation.
Okay, both front casters are lined up and my hands are now on the back.
A little bit of weight on the back, so we'll bring up the front wheels first.
And I'm lifting and pushing. And lowering. Keep coming and I'll tell you when your back wheels are at the curb. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, there, stop. And your back wheels are at the curb, so my hands are on, so you can begin to reverse. Yeah, keep reversing, 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 reversing. Your back wheels are now down, and reverse. Mid wheels now are starting to come down, all the way, reverse. And mid wheels are down, and front wheels down.
And that's how it's done, folks. So, how did I do it? The following are a bunch of tips and tricks that I use before mounting and dismounting a curb. Did you spot any in the videos already? First and foremost, be aware of your surroundings, as there are many things that are designed to help us. For example, if you see any traffic lights, there is a very high possibility that there will be a dip in the curb for you to cross the road. This might also include tactile paving, which is usually orange in color, and you can recognize because it's pretty bumpy. Safety and curb mounting go hand in hand, so it is always important that you are positioned in your wheelchair smoothly. Always make sure your pelvic belt is tight or your chest harness is strapped on. When you approach a curb, do not go up at speed, as it can be dangerous to both you and your wheelchair. Instead, go slow and line yourself up with the edge of the curb with your front wheels facing straight. When going up and down a curb, it is important to know where in your wheelchair the weight is. If you drive a rear wheel drive, then the weight will be at the back of your chair. However, if you do not drive a rear wheel drive, then the weight will be distributed differently. Your helper will need to help find out the best way to counteract the weight and get you up and down safely. I hope that this video has been informative in helping you learn about how I mount and dismount curbs as a powered wheelchair user. Thank you for taking time to watch this video.
In third place, winning £500, our congratulations goes to Luke for his insightful communications hack for people with ADHD.
Hey Luke, did you know that repeating back what someone said to you can help build friendships? It's because the other person sees the effort you're putting in to listen and recreate what they just said to you. And if you miss something, don't worry, they can fill in the gaps because they don't actually care that you missed something. They care that you're putting in the effort to understand and listen to what they said. Now that feels good, my boy. So what you're saying is that when you repeat back what someone said to you, it makes friendship stronger because they feel like you're trying to listen to them by reflecting back the same ideas. And if you forget something, they fill in the gap. Right. Sorry, I don't remember what you said. Could you repeat it? I said too much. Let me try that again. What matters most in a conversation is to show you understand what they said to you, so you can clarify if you get lost, like you did just then. So if I repeat back what someone said, they feel valued because I care about what they said. And if I miss something, they don't mind that I missed. They care, what they care about is that I'm trying to listen, which feels good. Exactly. My name is Luke and I have ADHD. Sometimes building relationships can be difficult, but by repeating back what someone has said, like you just saw, has really helped me connect with others. But Luke, paying attention's really hard because I have ADHD. Actually, that's exactly why this little solution can be really powerful. If you misunderstand something or miss out on important information, they fill in the gaps for you. You don't need to remember. So then the outcome makes a big difference. Just by repeating and clarifying, you gain a deeper understanding of them and make them feel valued. And additionally, while this won't fix ADHD, it can also help our brains practice doing a little bit better at paying attention and not getting distracted. Because by repeating what someone has said, it teaches our brain what they just said is really important. And if our brain thinks it's really important, it will try a little bit harder at not getting distracted and paying attention and maybe do just a little bit better. So, here's a way you can practice. Say aloud what you just learned in this video. If you don't remember, say, Luke, I don't remember everything you said, and then re-watch the video. Consider it me reminding you of what I just said. I hope that helps.
In second place, winning £1,000 on congratulations goes to Duran for a smart hack on how to make video easier for her son.
So Sebi is practicing his walking and he takes steps that are too big for him. So we've put footsteps on the floor and he has to make sure he stands where the footsteps are, well done, and no further, so that he's practicing his gait, making sure his feet are turned nicely forwards, just like those footsteps are, and that he's not taking a step that's too big. And so, just like you can see there, he knew that he'd taken it slightly too far because he was overshot. Does that come up? And it overshot the footprint. Again, he needs to get it straight, like the footprint. Well done. So that he doesn't go too far. Well done, Sebi.
And the winner of the Simply Open Awards and the £2,000 prize is Debbie for her simply delightful hack to help her pick up items around the home.
Congratulations, Debbie.
My name is Debbie Rigsby and I'm a C6-7 complete quadriplegic. When I had my spinal cord injury, I lost function to my fingers and grip. And my husband wanted to figure out a way to help me pick up things that I've dropped on the floor or maybe retrieve some canned goods out of a cabinet. He came up with this very simple, inexpensive solution of using a cotton string, and we use a 2-inch disc magnet. It has a hole in the middle so you can get the string through it and tie a knot. And then he tied 2 loops in it so I could have different links to utilize for picking up things. I like to help out in the kitchen where I can, so to get a canned good I can just put my finger in the loop, hover over a can, pick it up, bring it over. If it's something a little bit lower, I just use the longer loop, and I can even pick up bigger cans. I'm hoping this will help others with limited or no dexterity gain a little more independence around their home as well. It also comes in handy when you want to pick up things you dropped, maybe your car keys. A utensil. Or a pen. As you can see, it gets a little crowded when you're trying to pick up everything. But the magnet on the string has been a true helper for me, and it gives me so much more independence. I hope it helps you too.
My name's Darren Rowan, and I'm a program manager and global accessibility lead at Eli Lilly and Company. At Lilly, we have a 146-year heritage of uniting care with discovery to create innovative medicines for millions of people across the world. Innovation is based on listening to the experiences of those people with disabilities and long-term health conditions. In the last 3 years, we've had a program that's focused on accessibility called Access Lilly. And that's about going beyond the standards and really using inclusive design to, again, understand the experiences of people with disabilities and the barriers they face and how we can overcome those together. That's why we're really excited to be one of the global sponsors for the Simply Open Awards, and in particular, this category of daily living and well-being. We were really impressed with the candidates, the participants, and the end videos that we had to go through to make those final decisions. I can tell you it was very tough to get to the final 5, and even tougher to make those final decisions on who won. So congratulations to all who participated. In 5th place, we congratulate Dina for winning £100 with her delightful daily living task on organising clothes.
Life hacks for people who are blind or have low vision. In her lounge room, Dina Morgan, Vision Australia client.
So now that she's 5, she's into dressing herself and she loves fashion and colour coordinating. So it's not so much of an issue now, but when she was a baby and a toddler, I found putting her clothes in little boxes that I got from IKEA or from Spotlight. So for example, I'd have a box for singlets, underwear, skivvies, pants, and put everything in little boxes in a drawer. Bottom drawer would be specifically for jumpers. So being very organised, instead of throwing everything in, having segments, hanging up clothes as much as I could. I found when I hung up clothes I could find them easier because I could just feel what I was looking for. And again, that would be organised. On the left I'd have all the jackets and vests, through to on the right all the dresses.
Make an appointment with Vision Australia. Call 1300 847466. Powering your independence.
Fourth place, we congratulate Emma, who wins £250 for this simple and effective hack in the bathroom.
I've designed this to make it easier for doing transfers and not have your arm slip off the side. I've fallen before trying to get myself on, so I've had this metal made, this metal piece, and it's bolted from underneath, so it won't move anywhere. So when you go to lean over or trying to manoeuvre yourself, your arm doesn't fall back off the side.
In third place, our congratulations go to Pedro, who wins £500 for his wonderful well-being hack that uses plants as a signpost for mental health support.
We do not have a video to share for Pedro this year. He submitted a Word application with photos describing his solution. In order for us to ensure that the Simply Open Awards was inclusive, we allowed people to submit alternative formats of applications to suit their individual requirements. And so Pedro submitted his in a Word document, and I'm now going to read you his application that made him third place. One of the most frustrating aspects of living with a schizoaffective disorder is when well-intentioned people tell you, "Please, let me know if you need any help." This is frustrating because a person experiencing psychosis may not realize they need help. Sometimes, as is often the case with me, the process of slipping into a crisis is gradual and does not feel like a break from normal life. Therefore, we often fail to notice what is happening to us and to reach out for help. To deal with this, I came up with a simple solution: populating spaces with different kinds of plants for which I am the sole responsible for caring. Each of these plants has a different need regarding water, sun exposure, trimming, etc. When I'm not in crisis, I have the kind of systemic thinking ability needed to care for them. As a result, they look healthy. When I am slipping into a crisis, however, they start to show signs of neglect, since I become unable to pass out the different actions I need to take care for them. That then serves as a visual cue for those around me that I probably need some help. The solution itself is rather simple and requires only two things. Firstly, that one is able and willing to take up gardening as a hobby, and I have been gardening for many years now, and I came to understand very early on the mental health benefits it brings to my life. As far as I am concerned, taking up the activity is, on its own, a powerful avenue for mitigating poor mental health. In its current form, however, the solution emerged not from my continued engagement with the activity, but from having dear friends and colleagues around me rather often. Thus, the second requirement for this solution to work is resisting the urge to isolate yourself as much as possible, so that others can have a peek at your plants from time to time. I now have two sets of plants, one in my office and one in my house. Through trial and error, I have come up with a mix of species that work for me. That is, whose care take up a combined 30 minutes of my day and whose needs are sufficiently different from one another as to require the sharpness of thought I lack during a crisis. The key for this solution is mixing up different plants at different growing stages and ritualizing the caring process. At any given point, I am caring for seed beds, adult leafy plants, and flowering plants. This is because each of these require different caring actions. I have plants that require plenty of water, as well as cacti Some plants require full sun, while others thrive in partial shade. Some grow fast and require frequent trimmings. Others are slow and should be allowed to grow freely. When I speak of ritualizing the growing process, I mean actively avoiding things that take the caring duty off your hands. One example, if a plant requires full sun, do not leave it in a position where it can get exposure by default. Rather, set it somewhere where you must accomplish a small action of care, such as taking it out to the balcony. Since it is important to have a diverse set of plants and different caring actions for each of them, the time investment can easily add up. This is not desirable since the fast pace of modern life can sometimes take precedence over the care for your plant, so go about it strategically. As far as I'm aware, no one else uses gardening in this way, that is expressly for the purpose of using signs of neglect as indicators of poor health. However, gardening is an activity often associated with mental health benefits, and therefore it seems particularly suited for tracking one's well-being over time. I have been advising my university students to care for plants for a number of years now, and I know of a few that have taken up the activity. They reported that gardening has helped them deal with stress, anxiety, and depression more effectively. However, I have only been able to systemize this practice in its current form in the last year, which is when I moved to London. Since then, I have been trying to work out a few general principles that control for unexpected occurrences not necessarily indicative of one's mental state, for example, plants dying because of extreme heat waves. One of the reasons I am intent on sharing the solution with a wider audience is to capitalize on their experiences and insights to improve the practice, maybe one day making it a go-to life hack for people with psychotic disorders.
Feel the tension building. I hope you can too. In second place, we congratulate Mary, who wins £1,000 for her super smart way of using social media to promote disability life hacks.
I'm Mary Sattery and I run 2 accounts on Instagram called Adaptive Hacks and Adaptive Meals, and it's a way of crowdsourcing disabled wisdom from all across the world. And basically what we do is someone will either send in a question or they'll send in a solution, and then we post it and then people respond to it, and they will either add in, "Oh, I have a solution to that too, and I do X, Y, Z," or "This is the product I've found that solves that problem." And I really enjoy it because it involves a lot of DIYing and gluing things together and wrapping tape around things, and we've been able to help thousands of people through the work, and it's so democratic, and it helps people who've previously felt ashamed of their needs feel really proud of the wisdom and skills that they have. So I like to share with you just a couple of examples of things that have come up on the page. So we talk quite a lot about managing medicine, and one of the things that I've done during my time running the page is switch to using 4 weekly pill organisers, and that helps me know well in advance of when I need to reorder prescriptions. We've got things like this really great tool for putting on compression socks, and we have things like this wonderful phone charger that helps people who mainly live lying down or sitting down keep their phone well charged. We work with a lot of grippy materials to help people with all kinds of different access needs, and we really love grippy materials. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to quickly show you my pages and a bit about how they work. So this is Adaptive Hacks. It has nearly 3,000 followers. I've really enjoyed this page because it's been a much slower growing project, where its sister page, Adaptive Meals, exploded the minute I launched it. This one has grown much more slowly, and I've been able to keep up with it much more. So most recent question I got was, "Hi Mary, looking for suggestions for a bed phone holder, something that wouldn't heat up if kept on my stomach. And then I asked the person if they consented to me expanding it into a bigger question that I posed to people in my stories across all 3 accounts, which is just, how do you manage using your phone in bed? What tools do you use? What behaviours? What adaptions? And I got some really interesting ideas, so I compiled that into a much bigger post, and then people also added lots of ideas in the comments. And then the most recent question we got, which was, hack we got, was someone from Australia writing in about drying your hair in bed and explaining what their method is. And it was quite controversial. Some people were quite worried about it, or they were worried about their neck, and they were worried about doing it unsupervised. And we had some really great generative conversations over direct message about people's different access needs and how they could adapt this hack to make it safer for them. And I really, really enjoy working with people to understand their bodies and how we can adapt an already adaptive behavior and tool to suit them. It's really fun for me. So I'm just going to take us over to the other page, which is adaptive meals. So this has nearly 6,300 followers, and this was a much more shocking experience for me because it grew so fast, and I felt quite overwhelmed because I didn't have very much crossover with my followers on my original page, and I think it went viral on Twitter or something, and so it was just thousands and thousands of strangers, and it took me a while to adjust to that. But yeah, so the most recent hack I've been sent that I've posted here is someone using barbecue gloves instead of oven gloves, and the most recent question is how to manage peeling and slicing potatoes.
When we think of innovation, we tend to think about creating products from brand new. But actually, some of the best innovations come from repurposing products. And that's why this finalist has come up with a beautiful illustration of exactly that. Something that's simple, effective, replicable, scalable, and has a great deal of impact for many people. And you often know when you see the solution and you say, I wish I'd thought of that it's going to be good. So, drum roll please, as we announce our winner, who takes home £2,000. Congratulations go to Steph for her life hack using hairband.
Hi, I'm Steph, and my life hack, like all good life hacks, is simple, it's low cost, it is no tech, and it's really versatile. So I am going to share with you some ways in which I use an elastic band to identify objects. So when I'm coming home, I've got a bunch of keys. I just have a band on the key to my front door, so it makes it so much simpler just to identify it, get straight through, get in. When I'm in the shower, I have 2 bottles, one is shampoo, one is conditioner. Well, I put a band on the shampoo so I know which bottle to use first, use my conditioner second. If you live in a shared house, well, I'm guessing you're keen to use your own toothbrush. Same thing applies. I just put a band on my toothbrush so in the morning I can identify my toothbrush and be confident I'm using the right brush to clean my teeth. I've shared this hack with a blind friend of mine who lives alone, and he started asking the delivery driver when they deliver his shopping to put an elastic band on all of his tins of beans. Then during the week he can make beans on toast really, really easily, and he says the joy of finding beans first time is up there. It's great because if you're not tech savvy or you just don't want to battle tech all the time, this can do just what tech sometimes does too, and so makes it so simple. I've even used it when out and about. So if I'm staying in a hotel and the signage isn't very accessible and I leave my room, go down to the bar, come back up, if I put an elastic band on my door handle, I can easily identify which room is mine when I return. And if I don't have an elastic band, I've often got a hair bobble which does just the same trick. So there you go. The elastic band, a brilliant life hack if you're blind or partially sighted for identifying a whole host of things.
So there we have it, folks. What a fantastic way to end the year for us and really recognise some of these fantastic solutions and hacks that the community have created. You've seen that it's exemplified in our winners and some really, really diverse applications throughout the whole process, covering a multitude of lived differences and perspectives and hacks that can be beneficial to many others around the world. A massive congratulations to all of our winners again, and a big thank you to everyone who has taken a part and applied this year. I also would like to just finish off by thanking the supporting partners of the Global Discovery Awards, Zero Project Conference, Enable India, and Enable Me. Also, a big thanks to our wonderful global sponsors and judges, because without yourselves, these awards would not have been able to be put on. We really look forward to running these awards again next year, and we plan to open our applications on May the 19th, 2023. So do follow our social media between now and then. We will be posting more updates as we get closer to launching the applications again next year. If you have any questions about next year, do please reach out to us at www.simplyopen.io/awards or email us at simplyopenawards@openinclusion.com. Thank you.